She saves lives for a living. 11 years in the ER at Cook County Hospital. Cardiac arrests. Gunshot wounds. 30-year-olds who should have had decades left. Danielle Brooks had pulled people back from the edge so many times that she'd started to believe, somewhere underneath the exhaustion, that she was good at keeping things from falling apart. She was wrong. It's 6 a.m. on a Tuesday. Her shift just ended. She's sitting in the hospital parking lot, still in scrubs, and she's doing something she hasn't done in 4 months. She's looking at her bank account, checking $847, savings $2,100, 401k $12,000, debt $48,000. She's 34 years old. She earns $67,000 a year, and she has less money than she had at 22, fresh out of nursing school, before she knew what the world cost. Her phone buzzes. Marcus, her brother.
Hey, sis. Short on rent again. Can you help me out? Just $400.
She stares at the message until the screen goes dark. Outside, the sun is coming up over Chicago. She doesn't move. 3 hours earlier, before the parking lot, before the phone screen, there was Lorraine Mitchell, 58 years old, former nurse at the same hospital. She'd worked these same floors for 20 years before her knees gave out. Now she was in Bay 4, with diabetic complications she'd been ignoring for months because she couldn't afford the specialist visits after losing her insurance. Danielle held her hand while they prepped her for surgery. The older woman's eyes opened.
You're ER? How long? 11 years. Get out while you can still walk. Buy something, land, anything. Don't end up...
Danielle stood there for a moment with an empty hand. A nurse who'd given 20 years to this place. A pension that barely covered rent. No insurance. Lying on a table in the hospital where she used to work. The shift continued. Danielle moved to the next patient. And the next. She did not let herself think about Lorraine Mitchell for the next 3 hours. She was very good at not thinking about things. $847. She kept coming back to that number in the parking lot, not because it was shocking, she'd been lower, but because she finally let herself ask the question. She'd been out running for years. Where did it go? And the answer came without hesitation, because she'd always known it. It went to groceries for her mother, who raised 4 kids alone and now lived on Social Security. It went to Marcus's bail money, twice. It went to her sister's kids' school supplies, their birthday parties, their Christmas presents, because her sister's boyfriend had left, and someone had to make sure those kids had something to open on December 25th. It went to the $8 coffees she bought herself after 12-hour shifts watching people die, because they were the only thing that felt like hers. She made $67,000 a year. She had $847, and she had given the rest away. Not in one dramatic moment, not to some emergency she couldn't have predicted, but in 1,000 small acts of love that each felt completely justified in the moment they happened. That was the part she couldn't sit with. Every single dollar had a reason. Every reason had a face she loved. That Sunday, Lorraine Mitchell stood at the front of the church basement, alive, upright, steadier than she had any right to be, and said the thing that Danielle had spent 11 years not saying.
I gave everything to everyone. My patients, my children, my church, my community. And I told myself I was being selfless. But selflessness was just an excuse not to deal with my own fear. I was terrified of looking at my own future, so I kept myself busy looking at everyone else's.
I'm Danielle. I was there when you came in.
You're the one who held my hand, and now you're scared.
Lorraine nodded, slow and certain, the way someone nods when they've heard a diagnosis they already suspected.
Good. Fear can save your life if you listen to it. Sit down, baby. Let me tell you what I wish someone had told me at 34. You need to stop being available. Your family survived before you had a good job, didn't they? The problem isn't that they need you. The problem is that you need to be needed. It makes you feel valuable. It makes you feel like you're earning love. But you're not earning love, baby. You're buying it. And the price is your future. You create a covenant with yourself. A promise that cannot be broken. Before anybody gets a single dollar, including you, future Danielle gets paid first.
Danielle picks it up. She reads it. She folds it and puts it with the notepad page. 2 pieces of paper now, both in her purse. She opened the account on Monday. First National, downtown, deliberately far from her usual branch. She set up the automatic transfer. 20% of every paycheck, moved the day after deposit. $670. Gone before she could see it. She felt something she hadn't expected. Not relief, something closer to grief, like she'd finally admitted she was sick. The first test came within weeks. Her mother called. The furnace in her apartment had broken. The landlord wouldn't fix it.
It's $1,800 for a new one. I don't know what to do, baby.
Danielle checked her available balance. $1,200. The transfer had already run.
Mama, I can give you 800. That's all I have.
I thought you made good money. Save? Save for what? Your mother is cold and you're saving?
I love you, Mama. I'll bring the check tomorrow. And I'll call some churches, see if they have emergency assistance programs.
She found one. A local nonprofit covered the remaining 1,000. Her mother never thanked her for finding it. For months afterward, she reminded Danielle, in small, consistent ways, about the time her daughter couldn't help her own mother. 6 months into the covenant, she had $7,800 in the untouchable account. She'd picked up extra shifts. She'd stopped buying the $8 coffees. She'd said no to Marcus 4 times. Then he showed up at her apartment at 2 a.m., bleeding.
I got jumped. Wrong place, wrong time.
Marcus, what really happened?
He broke down. He owed $5,000 to a dealer. They'd given him a week.
They'll kill me, Danny. I'm not being dramatic. They will literally kill me.
She looked at her brother, her baby brother, the one who'd held her hand at their grandmother's funeral, the one who used to make her laugh when their father left. She also saw 20 years of bail money, 20 years of believing this time would be different, 20 years of choosing him over herself.
I have money.
She picked up her phone to log into First National, and then she heard Lorraine's voice. Not a memory, not a metaphor, but something closer to a physical sensation in her chest. The money doesn't exist. It's not yours to give.
I need to make a call first.
Her pastor listened without interrupting. Then he asked one question.
Danielle, if you give Marcus this money, what happens next month when he owes someone else?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
She was silent.
Love is not enabling. Sometimes love means letting someone face consequences. It's the hardest kind of love there is.
So I'm supposed to let him die?
You're supposed to let him choose. Give him options. A shelter, a program, police protection. Be with him. But don't pay the ransom. The ransom never ends.
She hung up. Marcus was still at her kitchen table, watching her. She did not open the First National app. She stayed up all night with him instead. She drove him to a crisis center at 4 a.m. She helped him file a police report. She found him a spot in a 90-day residential program 3 hours away. At the bus station, he turned to her with red-rimmed eyes.
I never thought you'd abandon me.
I'm not abandoning you. I'm the only one who isn't. Everyone who gave you money was abandoning you, leaving you to stay exactly who you are. I'm the first person who's asking you to become someone else.
He didn't speak to her for 4 months. She watches it pull away. She stands there until it's gone. Then she walks to her car, gets in, and sits in the parking lot. The same posture as the hospital parking lot 6 months ago. Same scrubs, Same phone, different numbers on the screen. $7,800. Still there. 4 months of silence. She worked her shifts, she made her transfers. She did not call Marcus because she'd been told by every counselor to let the program work. She did not know if he was alive. She told herself she did. She wasn't sure. Then one afternoon, a letter arrived, handwritten, from the program. Danny, I'm clean. 97 days. They make us write letters to the people who saved our lives. The counselor asked me who forced me to finally get help. It was you. I hated you for it. Now I understand. You loved me enough to let me hate you. That's the hardest thing anyone's ever done for me. I'm sorry I took so much for so long. I'm going to pay you back someday. Not money, but time. I'm going to become someone worth saving. Your brother, Marcus. She read it twice. Then she folded it and put it with the other 2 pieces of paper. The notepad page with the list. The napkin with future Danielle written on it. 3 pieces of paper. She held them for a moment, the weight of a year in 3 folded pages, and put them back. 3 years after the parking lot. 3 years after the phone screen that showed $847. Danielle Brooks stood on the porch of a small house in Bronzeville. Her house. The down payment had come from the Covenant account, which had grown to $47,000.
You actually did it. No, baby. You learned from the worst. You saw my mistakes and chose differently. That's not learning from me. That's transcending me.
Danielle's phone buzzed. Marcus. 2 years sober, working as a recovery counselor now. Proud of you, sis. Coming to see the new place next month. Lorraine reads it and nods. Once. Slowly. Danielle puts the key in the front door. She turns it. The door opens. She doesn't rush inside. She stands in the doorway for a moment, one hand on the frame. She looks at what's hers. The door opening is not a happy ending. It is a beginning she almost never let herself have.